I don't know why I can't get this out of my mind.
What?
This Moorpark fiasco that happened last week with Moorpark High School versus Hart High School for the CIF, I think it was Division II championship over in Lake Elsinore Stadium, that minor league stadium down there. And so, you know, the field obviously wasn't the issue. It's a minor league stadium that has to comply with MLB rules, right? You would think. And the lighting was a night game, and Moorpark was losing 7-6. No outs in the 7th inning, and there was a man on base. And it was the bottom of the 7th. They only play 7 innings in high school baseball. Even if it's a championship game, they don't extend it to 9. And the guy hit a towering shot that came down like it hit rain. You know, they call those rainmakers, right? And it came like straight down near the foul pole. And to the video perspective, it looked like it clearly went over the fence. You at the fence, it was green. And once it hit the fence line, you don't see the ball anymore. To me, home run. The umpire took a little bit of a delay. First, he called it fair right away. It was about 1.5 feet fair, probably 2 feet fair. And he had a little bit of a delay before he made the second signal, which was to say, you know, home run, round tripper. And even everybody on the field seemed to be a little bit confused. The fact that nothing was solid right away in terms of making the call. And obviously the only people who could really see what actually happened were the left fielder and the umpire. And the umpire is the one who makes the decision, not the left fielder. And so the umpire called it a home run. And in that moment, time stood still. Literally. I mean, I wish I was there. Time stood still. There's time in our lives when time stands still. And the team couldn't celebrate. And the other team couldn't worry that they lost the game. There was a chasm. There was a chasm. There was a, you know, like everybody was standing on the precipice of time. And then what seemed like an eternity, maybe 10, 20 seconds later, the umpire called it a home run. And from the footage, it looks like a home run. The players jumped up and celebrated on Moorpark's side. They had, you know, kids. It's a kid's game. Even if you're adults, it's a kid's game. And they jumped and they dogpiled and waited till their runners made it to the plate. I was looking to see if the home run guy touched the guy in front of him, because then he would have been out. I was looking for that. It looks like it didn't happen, but it was close, you know, because in all the confusion, who knows, you know? So they touched home plate. The team mobbed them at the plate, and there was elation in the air, and the adrenaline must have just been, you know, super high on one side and super depressed on the other. And in one of the video footages, you can see the Hart High School coach approaching the 3 umpires who decided to have a little powwow after the home run was called. You call a home run and it's a walk-off home run, the game is effectually over. The umpires should be walking to the dugout, should be walking to the locker rooms to take off their cups, you know? Instead, they decide to have a little powwow in the left center field area behind the shortstop. And of course, the Hart coach walks out towards them right away. 30-year coach. He's seen a lot in 30 years. He hadn't seen this. So he pulled out his bag of tricks. And I'm sure, I mean, to be a fly on the umpire's, you know, a protector, you know, chest protector, to be a fly in that moment and to hear the conversation, you know, people are saying that the Hart coach argued for a ground rule double. Well, we don't see that footage. We just see so far 3 umpires gathering and the Hart coach coming at him. I want to see extended footage of exactly what happened during those 5 minutes of conversation. Was the Hart coach intimately involved in the conversation? I want to know that. To me, that's important because he had 30 years of experience. Where was the Moorpark coach in that moment? He needs to be right there next to him giving a counter argument, or at least finding out what is being said, because somebody's passing some information that's causing change while another coach is still celebrating his victory. Take a note on this. There's a possibility that Moorpark coach was a first-year coach. Maybe inexperienced, maybe a rookie, definitely not a 30-year tenured coach who's seen it all. I'm sure some of this has played into the final decision. There's storylines in this thing. There's storylines that go on deep levels in different directions. And now we got footage, slowed up footage that shows a ball bouncing. What appears to be, to me and to most people, it's almost like, is that dress blue or is that dress a different color? You know what I'm talking about? The video where you see the same thing and you see it differently than someone else. Well, from what I gather, there's slow down footage, and it shows the ball right at the fence line, and then beyond the fence line, going down, it still shows something going down and hitting the ground, and then bouncing back up into foul territory. There's no question that this was a fair ball. That's not the question. The question is, did the ball bounce before the fence or after the fence? We find out that fence is almost transparent. So even though you might be able to see the shading of a ball come down, if it's behind the fence, that makes sense too. Why wouldn't a ball go behind a fence and you're still able to see somewhat of a depiction of a ball bounce from already over the fence and bounce again and then go whatever direction it goes? It makes sense that the ball veered off to the foul area because of the trajectory of the hit. It was a lefty at bat. Oh, it was a righty?
It was a righty.
Oh, righty. That's what I meant. It was a righty. Yeah, it was a righty down the left field line. My mind is, my son corrected me. That was very good. So it was a righty, and he pulled the ball. But he skied it so high that pull was pulling it, even after it hit the ground, it pulled it that way into foul territory. So you make the call. I mean, it looks like my son was saying, and other people have said too, if it was a walk-off home run, and if it can be substantiated that the original call was correct, and then furthermore, why was it overturned? The refs need to submit a written document to the league office, this is my opinion, as to why they made the change. What influenced them to make that change in the call? Was it an argument from the Hart coach? Was it that the left fielder convinced them in his immediate reaction to the play that he thought it was a ground rule double? At what point do umpires take external information and use it to change what they saw with their own eyes? I mean, this isn't just for one moment. This sets a precedent. It sets a dangerous precedent, to be able to change a call like that. So because it was the end of the game, we have the opportunity then to possibly review it for correction. If it didn't happen as the last play of the game, then that point might be moot. So that's all I have to say right now. It's in my thought process. It's been aching at me for, since it happened. I feel really bad for the kids at Moorpark, for the coaches at Moorpark, for the city of Moorpark. And I just feel like there's something rotten in Santa Clarita Valley. There's something rotten in Denmark. And the onion needs to be pulled back. We need to see what layers are in there, if anything. Investigation.